Ever noticed your child becoming more irritable, more impatient, or harder to settle after screen time? You're not alone. Many parents describe the same pattern and wonder, is it just my child? Screens are not inherently evil, and this is not an anti-technology rant. Screens are simply powerful, and the developing brain is sensitive to power. What we're learning from neuroscience and developmental psychology is that screens can shape behavior. Not because children are weak, but because their brains are still wiring skills that screens can easily bypass or overstimulate. So today, I want to walk you through 5 ways screens can shape childhood behavior, and by the end, you'll better understand what you're seeing at home and what helps. Way number 1, shortened frustration tolerance. Most digital environments are designed for instant feedback. Tap, swipe, reward, no waiting, no boredom, no struggle. But real life requires waiting, boredom, and struggle. When a child spends more time in fast feedback environments, everyday tasks like sharing, waiting for their turn, or tolerating no feel harder because those skills are under-practiced. The brain adapts to the pace of experiences most often used. So, when a child goes from screens to real-life situations that are slower and less stimulating, frustration tolerance can drop. This isn't a character flaw. It's a conditioning mismatch. Screens speed up dopamine. Life slows it down. And children feel that gap immediately. Way number 2, faster reward expectations. Digital platforms reward quickly and constantly. Points, animations, sounds, level ups, all of which trigger dopamine. But chores, homework, relationships, and self-care are slow dopamine activities. When a child's brain gets used to fast dopamine from screens, slower forms of reward can feel boring, pointless, or not worth the effort. Neuroscience calls this reward pathway recalibration. It explains why kids say things like, "This is boring, I don't want to," or "It takes too long." They're not being spoiled. Their brain is learning a different reward pace. In scripture, we're reminded over and over that growth happens over time. From seed to harvest, childhood to adulthood, faith to maturity. Screens compress that timeline. Life does not. Way number 3, sleep disruptions. Sleep is one of the most fragile parts of childhood development. Blue light can suppress melatonin production, which makes it harder for the brain to wind down. But beyond blue light, screens keep the nervous system alert. Fast visuals, unpredictable sounds, and constant novelty activate arousal systems in the brain. So when a child uses screens close to bedtime, they might seem fine on the outside, but wired on the inside. Poor sleep doesn't just make kids tired. It affects behavior, mood, emotional regulation, learning, and impulse control the next day. A dysregulated nighttime often shows up as a dysregulated child in the morning. Way number 4, sensory overload. Modern screens deliver high-intensity sensory input. Fast cuts, bright colors, loud sounds, jumping characters, and unpredictable movement. The nervous system learns that this is the new normal. So when children step into environments that are quieter, slower, and less stimulating, like home, school, church meetings, or family meals, they feel understimulated and restless. Their brain is searching for the level of sensory input it's used to. This can look like bouncing, fidgeting, interrupting, touching things, or being hyper after screens. Many kids aren't misbehaving. They're trying to match the sensory intensity their brain is expecting. Way number 5, social displacement. Here's a piece that often gets missed. Time spent on screens displaces time spent practicing social and emotional skills. Skills like reading facial expressions, resolving conflict, sharing space, tolerating boredom, and being present with others develop in real relationships, not digital ones. When screen time crowds out face-to-face time, children may struggle more with social cues, peer conflict, empathy, and cooperation. Not because they don't care, but because those skills weren't rehearsed. Biblically and developmentally, humans are formed through relationship. Screens can supplement learning, but they can't replace relational formation. If this feels heavy, don't let it. The goal isn't perfection or screen elimination. It's simply awareness. You don't have to ban devices to protect your child's brain. Small adjustments make a big difference, like delaying screens in the morning to protect attention, avoiding screens before bedtime to protect sleep, adding friction like timers or filters, prioritizing outdoor play to regulate the nervous system, and building skin screen-free pockets during family time to protect connection. We are not raising devices. We are raising humans. And humans learn through relationship, embodiment, boredom, creativity, and rest. Screens are simply tools, not a substitute for those things. Screens shape behavior because they shape the brain. And childhood is a season of brain building. But the most powerful influence in your child's life is not a device. It's you. If this gave you understanding instead of guilt and clarity instead of fear, that's the goal. And if you want part 2 where I break down what helps in detail, let me know in the comments and I'll make it. I'll see you in the next reflection.